All right. We live. Sorry for the dark the dark background here. Had to do this through my phone this time. It's my first time doing it through my phone. So let me figure out how I invite people. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to invite some people. Invite some people. I'm inviting some folks. Hope everybody is enjoying their Saturday. If you're tuning in for the first time, this is a community exercise that I do. I think as researchers, as historians, as scholars, as people, leaders in the community, we should make ourselves available to the public to answer any question that we can. This is why I do this frequently. It may not be every Saturday, but as many as I can get in, I try to do that. So, Ekabo, which is welcome to the people that are in the chat. Give me a second while I invite some people. Okay. Lafia Hayaba. Let's see who else is in here. Peace, Larry Jones. Peace, Olorum. Arawa Agbon. Peace, brother. Peace, Kadeem. Peace, brother Ford. Nothing much is going on, brother. As I was saying, this is a community exercise that I do to answer any questions. Try to go live and do this weekly, if not weekly, every other week or something to that nature. I'm trying to wait for some people to get in here before I get started. But hope everybody is enjoying their Saturday. Hope everybody is staying strong, staying healthy, staying active in their communities, staying engaged, fighting for African liberation, teaching their children to do so as well, so that we, keep this thing going as a progressive African people. What I want to say is, I don't know if people are friends with Varian Xavier, Chief X. He did a video yesterday, a very passionate video, in which he highlighted some of the things going on in our community, as far as there are people that are selling things in our community that are not to our benefit. Oh, peace, Orisha Lashe, Ogunlade, peace, brother Ekpe, Omotulabe, peace, Baba, Baba Gundi Ran, peace, Baba. But going back to the video, peace, brother Chris Woods. What's up, brother? Kwame Akoma. Hope I said that right. Peace. But yes, this is a community exercise for the people that are just joining us. Always make myself available. Peace, brother Ankh Banu. For y'all that don't know, now that Ankh Banu is in the chat, he will be featured in my Conscious Community Pan-African Journal that I am publishing, hopefully by January. If you want your art, poems, articles about things pertaining to the African American and African struggle, hit me up at mossiwarriorclan@gmail.com. That's MOSSI warriorclan@gmail.com. So, what I was saying about the video, Brother Chief X did a video about the charlatans in our community. I posted a video of an attorney that is alleging that Polite received $70,000 from a young man and did not pay it back when services were not rendered. I spoke about Polite before. During my time with the Amara Squad, we have done entire shows warning people about dealing with Polite. And it's mainly the new people coming in, getting ganked and getting duped, Talk's a good game, And unfortunately, this keeps happening. So it seems like this message has to be reinforced every so often so people will not fall for the trap. But Brother Chief X, he named several people in his video that are preying on your ignorance. They are preying on your ability to not be able to analyze and decipher certain information, and you invest heavily in things that you have not researched. What I want to say is, before you get involved in something in this community, what they call the conscious community or woke community or whatever they want to call it, before you get involved in something, please, please, please do your due diligence and research it thoroughly. Not only research what it's supposed to be about, but research the character of the person involved. Research the results. And not just the results from his point of view. Ask people, have they invested in this and what was their outcome? Because situations like this, they make people like myself, people like Unc Banu, people like the Amara Squad, people that like University of Kemet Press, people that sell things in the community that are of merit and will do what they said that they're going to do. It makes us look bad. People will not do their due diligence. They'll just label everybody a scammer or a schemer. I have never scammed nobody in my life. I'm not about making money in this community. That's one of the things I keep saying because it's true. You won't catch me making big dollars off the community because I feel as if it's my job to provide information, to teach, to instruct, not necessarily make a whole lot of money off the community. I have other ways that I make money, and I kind of keep those two things separate. I may charge for things, but it's not going to be a back-breaking fee to the point of where if something goes wrong, I have an issue paying you back. And I'm really that way because of the charlatans, because of people that take advantage, because of people that they don't have your best interest in mind. So I want to say that to start this video. Thank you, Brother Chief X, for making that passionate video, because I could feel your passion. I could feel your frustration. And it's something that we've felt in this community for a while. And somebody had to just tell the truth. Somebody just had to tell the truth, because I've done videos about, I did a video about Polite before in which I said, he doesn't have any elders we can appeal to. And that's a big thing for me. If you don't have any elders, anybody I can call and say, what is the issue with this gentleman? Can we resolve it through you? I'm not going to deal with you. Not on an economic tip, because I need to be able to have a mediator. I need to be able to go to somebody when you will not be reasonable and broker some type of deal to where we can come to an understanding. And I cannot do that if you don't have any elders. We talk about being Africans. This is African tradition. If in African traditional systems, if there's an issue, if there's a problem, if there's something wrong, they don't just fight or war. No, they try to resolve it diplomatically through elders One of the best things you can do to resolve a conflict in traditional African tradition is, one, feed that person. Food, sustenance. Sustenance is looked at as an extension of love. If you read Asar Imhotep's book, Where is the Love? He talks about that in his book, and he's exactly correct. Going to someone's shrine, an ancestor shrine, and paying homage. Once you pay homage to another person's ancestors, the conflict is over. That's what we do in our traditions. So we need to get back to the simple things of solving issues. But if you don't have any elders, anybody I can, ask or petition to resolve an issue, I'm just not going to deal with you. That's just really where I'm at with it, because people have run wild in this community with being out of pocket. Out of pocket. That's the best word I can use. Out of pocket. Please share the show with your friends, because I wanted this message to get out to the community. So if you have any questions, please stop me and ask me. Please stop me and ask me. This is really a community exercise for questions. I'm kind of going off on a tangent right now. But, if you have any questions, please ask them at any time during the broadcast. But I appreciate you, Brother Chief X, for making that video. I appreciate you going on record, challenging the status quo, so to speak. I appreciate you, your fire, your passion, and, just telling the truth. The truth is the truth. He talks about receipts. We have receipts on certain people in the community. We just do. We have receipts. And it ain't no fluke one-off receipt. It's a receipt. It's a constant flow of those type of receipts. So, I know as a people, we get attached to personalities. I know as a people, we get attached to popular figures. And like I always tell people, don't get attached to me, man. As much as I don't want to let the community down and be an upstanding member of the community, I may do something that you might not agree with. And I don't want that to be the sole decision that you stop listening to my information. So don't get attached to me as a person. Get attached to the information. Research it for yourself. That's really what I want. Don't get the savior complex with me. Oh, Panther can't do no wrong. Yeah, Panther fucks up sometimes. I just do. We're human. We're human beings, right? Is it malicious? No, but it happens. All of us make bad judgments at some point. I just gotta text to invite some people. So yeah, please, if you have any questions, let me know. This is a community exercise, an interactive exercise in which I try to answer any questions people might have, and the reason I started doing this is because of the narratives that were being pushed through our community, in which urban legends started to become treated as fact. Once that starts happening, someone has to dispel the rumor or the myth. Somebody has to. Because if you don't dispel the rumor, if you don't dispel the myth, it becomes almost like a law. And then somebody comes around and actually looks at it years later, and they say, hey, this isn't correct. But by that time, it's gained so much momentum, it's hard to overturn. Let me give you an example. There are people that believe that a big head scientist named Yakub created white people and created them in a lab. That narrative is all the way from the 60s. So let's think about this. They've carried this all the way from the 60s till now. Carrying it. So now in 2018, we have people saying that. That's a long time. So somebody looks at that, somebody like me, and goes, where are the bones of Yaqub? Where was he buried? What was this lab that he was using in primordial times? Where is his instruments? What chemicals could he have used to graft people together? Was he cutting open bodies? How did he have knowledge of advanced microbiology and anatomy and things of that nature? How did he know? When I start asking these questions and nobody can provide answers, and then I turn my questions by hypothesis into statements, and I go, this guy never existed. He's not mentioned in any ancient texts of any civilization. This is a fictional story. But by that time, the narrative has gained so much momentum to where it looks like I'm just hating on a particular school of thought, instead of the truth actually being, he's right. This person didn't exist. So this is how that happens, you know? Brother Sean has a question. What are the opinions on the article sent earlier about the Yoruba science being tested? From that article, I didn't see Yoruba science being tested. I saw someone translating a science textbook into Yoruba and it being implemented in their school system. So I didn't see anything traditional about that article, unless I missed it. I saw somebody using a textbook and implementing it into their schools. And that's fine. They should have science textbooks. We have to remember in Africa, they don't have access to textbooks like we do in certain parts of Africa. So they have to translate books into Yoruba to actually study these concepts. I think it's a good idea. You know, I don't object. I don't object to that at all. I'm just going down. Lost Tribe of Shabazz. Yeah, Lost Tribe of Shabazz. You know, it comes from a particular school of thought. The in the 60s, you know, the Nation of Islam, Moorish Science Temple, Nation of Gods of Earth. That's who promoted that idea. So, you know, you have to do the research on everything. Now, it's different when people just say, hey, this is a mythological story versus, hey, this happened. That's the problem with religions in general. They try to convince you that this is not just a story for, you know, learning. This happened. Some guy with a extreme head, extremely huge noggin, as he's projected, grafted white people. That's what they want you to believe. In 2018, that's just not holding up. It didn't hold up in 2005 for me. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. He says same way in Tanzania. Yeah, correct. So different places in Africa have problems getting access to materials. That's one of the things I want to do with quality books like University of Kemet Press, Amara Squad, anybody that has anything of merit, Brother Ankh Banu, take our textbooks to certain points in Africa so they can start learning, from our perspective as we learn from their perspective through their cultures and traditions. A mutual exchange of information between the diaspora and the continent. I think that'd be very beneficial. Okay, Brother Sean asks, how can we break the cycle of mental slavery amongst Africans in the diaspora? By doing what I just suggested. Going there, implementing this into their education system. We have to do that because you think about how long it took us to become somewhat woke or conscious. So we were taught in our education system things that we found out are not true, or that we didn't get the entire narrative of, right? So we have to go there and implement this into their education system so they can start learning things from, when they start going to school so that the narrative can change. It's not going to change overnight. But if we get into their education system, this is what can happen, you know? But we have to make those trips. We have to build those bridges. We have to shake those hands. That's what we have to do. We have to travel to the continent and not just to great places like Egypt or South Africa where they got resorts. No, we have to go to those places that are poor, those places that don't have access to materials, the bush, as they say, and we have to make those exchanges. And we can't be looking for money. We can't be looking for handouts. We have to just go do the work. So that's one of my ideas. What would an NJ University online course look like? You'll find out soon. You will find out soon. Don't worry about it. But one of the things that I was cooking up is an African spirituality 101 course, and maybe an Ifa or Orisha worship 101, just the basics. You know, I'm not an expert or anything like that, but just the basics from a West African perspective. Let me say that because diasporan Orisha worship tends to straddle a line between two cultures. And I would just like to tell the West African perspective. So that's further down the line. But there will be a class. I'll just say that. There will be a class in the future. Bibi Fahudie, sister, Julanda. Any more questions from the chat? This is why we do this, interactive, you know. We have greats in the community and giants in our community, but we have to make ourselves available to the people. Because when you come into this, you have a lot of questions, and even when you become seasoned, you have even more questions. Questions develop daily. So we have to continue to answer the questions. And I agree, Brother Olorun, we have to travel to poor places like Tanzania. Absolutely. We have to go. We have to go. And you might experience what me and my wife experienced, where the water go out and you got to bathe out of that bucket. How much do you really love your people? It's just something you have to do. Okay, I would love to hear the West African perspective, as my father is from the Ivory Coast. I hate this. See, this is why I don't like doing it on the phone, because I can't see the rest of your question, or Jordan. All I see is my brothers from the Ivory Coast. I have been, and that's all I see. But from what you typed, Mossi Warrior Clan, we always push the narrative of West African perspective and other African perspectives in general. The good, bad, and the ugly. You know, that's just what we have to do. We can't romanticize it. We have to tell it the way it is. Brother Sean says, African psychology, how important is it to us? Do we understand that at all as a people? African psychology. Let me say this. African psychology is a school of discipline that comes out of psychology, in which African-centered individuals participate in and tailor it to the African experience. It's an effective tool. It's a tool that's necessary as us in the diaspora, and we should celebrate those that engage in African psychology. However, traditionally, there are no quote-unquote psychologists in African tradition. But there are people that engage in practices that mirror psychology. Traditionally, that's the role of a priest. to be your sort psychologist. So we have to look at our culture versus the DSM, which is what psychologists use, and see the pros and the cons, because we have to understand psychology is not a discipline that was created by us. So we have to see if we can use it as a model to help in some instances, and where the rubber meets the road, where we're compromising our culture for terms that are foreign to us. We have to be cognizant of that. So it's very important to us, especially us in the diaspora living in a alien culture. A lot of people are hurting. A lot of people don't know how to deal with that hurt. The constant hurt of being an African in the diaspora. And they need someone to talk to. So it's very important. Sorry, somebody called me. Okay. Man, why did it get dark when I got a call? Okay, there we go. All right, where was I? Or where they sell coal to survive. Yeah, I agree, brother. Environment shapes how you practice. Yeah, exactly, brother Hero. Lafayette, brother Rakarin, Kofi Paisi. What's going on? What's going on? I've heard of that story. Watoto wa mama nitile. I can't recall what it's about, though. If you can, send it to me in the inbox, man. Why doesn't anyone talk about Cape Verde much? I never hear anything about it. Cape Verde. Cape Verde is a little island off the western part of West Africa, in which they are definitely African people, but they have a history of different groups of people running through there. So their genetic mixture is tainted, for lack of a better word. They have Italians that went through there. There's been suggested shepherd Jews went through there. So they are definitely mixed with a few things going on in Cape Verde. I haven't really studied their culture, though. Excuse me. I do know a notable person who has Cape Verde in their blood would be Amber Rose. And if you look at the way Amber Rose looks, her phenotype, you will find a lot of people in that area that look similar to her as far as her skin complexion, different color eyes. But when you hear them talk, they sound like this. They say, "Hey, how are you doing?" And you're confused. You're like, "What? What are you?" So Cape Verde people get a lot of flack because nobody can tell what they are by just looking at their phenotype. So they usually have to explain that they're African, which is crazy, right? But that's what they have to do. I might look into that now that you said that, brother Kevin. Maybe I'll do a presentation on Cape Verde. That's correct. There are a lot of African cultures that nobody talks about. Somebody said to me recently, man, you guys didn't hit everywhere in Africa in the Mossi warrior clan. No, we have not. We're not even close. We not even scratched the surface, man. So many things, so many pocket cultures within the same country that we haven't got to. Sister Julanda said they all in Boston. You got a high concentration of Cape Verdeans over there. That's crazy. He said Kofi's supposed to be in grammar class with me. Y'all, well, you in here too, Brother Sean. I'm telling Wujawu. Wujawu, they in here. Yeah, Brother Olorun, if you can translate the story, man, I appreciate it. I can't see all of your message, Brother Ronnie. I'll have to check it out after this of this broadcast. Brother Koo, yeah, they're definitely still African. They definitely carry African genetic markers. but there's percentages of African, right? So us in the diaspora, because of the transatlantic slave trade, we carry 10 to 15% European. It's nothing we can do about that. Some people carry as much as 20, but that doesn't mean you're not African. It just means that you have other genetic factors in your blood, as most people in the diaspora do. Even somebody like me, who has a African father, still has 9% European DNA in me. That's just the nature of what happened. I'm scrolling down. What's the best West African mythical story you've heard? Whoo! Oh man, that is a hell of a question. The best. Excuse me, I'm dropping shit. The best. Man, I can't even begin. I've heard so many. I've heard so many, man. I'm trying to think of one of the best stories. I like stories in the forest. I may be biased because I'm an Omo Ogun, but I do like stories in the forest. I like the story where Ogun goes into the forest. He quit on humanity. He said, "I'm out of here. I'm sick of y'all." And the people, freaked out. Ogun, please come back. Everything's going wrong. And they petitioned the Oshun to go and retrieve Ogun. And instead of going to talk to him, she kind of set up and did her little dance with honey and wooed him to come back to civilization. I enjoy that story. That's one of the stories. There's a lot more to that story, but that's the story that I enjoy a lot. We never speak of the Bao'ele tribe. I've never heard of them. I'll have to look that up. The Chaga in Tanzania. Okay. Yep, that's great. We haven't scratched the surface. We got more to uncover. How African are they? On average, I think they're about 66% African. So, yeah, they have some influences. And, it's not their fault. Italians went through their wrecked shop. Other people went through their wrecked shop. And now they have these other genetic affinities in their DNA that have carried through time. So, yeah, they definitely have some other things going on. See, social media is extremely saturated. Oshun and Orumila's story is cool. Yes, it is. That is. I forgot about that one, babe. Where she Orumila went for that swim. And Oshun, actually Eshu stole his clothes and gave them to Oshun because Oshun wanted to learn how to divine. So he got out the pool and he was like, "Where the hell are my clothes?" So he followed the trail to her house, and they say when he opened the door to accuse her of stealing his clothes, she was naked with honey on, and he was like, "I'll teach you how to divine." So that's a story that made me laugh. Rumila is just like us, apparently. So that was a funny story. She said, "As a welder and iron worker, I feel like I relate to Ogun. My mother is a state representative as well." You may. A lot of metal workers are children of Ogun, or should honor Ogun because of how they what they're working with. Iron. I've seen some that look like tinted Latins. You will see some that look like tinted Latins. As I tell people, man, phenotypes lie all the time. I've seen people darker than me have no African ancestry whatsoever. So the lookalike test is not an efficient test to tell what somebody is sometimes. No talks about Swaziland or Eswatini either. Nope, we haven't got down there that far. I'm aware of Swaziland, but we haven't got down there that far. What's going on, Sister Monica? You want to blacksmith for real, for real. Man, I have a friend that blacksmiths. See if he's actually not in the chat anymore. But I have an Ogun priest that I know that actually does blacksmithing, and he tells me how you have to pay extreme attention when you do blacksmith because, man, you can burn yourself. I mean, or you can leave it in the forge too long, or it's definitely a skill. I definitely see how it propelled Africans into another level as far as the metallurgy and the iron smelting, goes. So I definitely see how it's a discipline that they wanted to venerate because it's not easy. Hey, Ruth says, I did AfricanAncestry.com and they found that I share a paternal genetic ancestry with the Balanta people. Where are they from? I remember the Balanta people. Is that Cameroon? I think that's Cameroon. I'm not sure. I've heard of them before, though. Even looked through some of their literature. But can't remember right off. Hold on. Let me look at my notes. Why, I got you here, brother. See if I got anything on it. Yep, I sure did. They're Guinea-Bissau. Actually, the Balanta people share a history with my father's side, the Senegambians, because the Balanta people being in Guinea-Bissau, they were back and forth between Senegambia at one point. If you look at where Guinea-Bissau is and where Senegambia is, same area. So actually that means, brother, we could be cousins or something. We probably got some of the same genetic markers. Also about the Balanta people, their oral tradition says that they migrated from Kemet. So, brother, you've been home already. Yep. They're from East Africa. It means ones who resist. Yes. Any other questions from the chat? Y'all see my wife on it. She knew Guinea-Bissau. My wife has done an excellent job teaching our children all of the countries and the capitals in Africa. So they ahead of the game of me. they killing it right now. I got to go home and catch up. I got to take the class. So, teach your children, man. Teach them. Man, you got to teach them. But, the Balanta people migrated small groups from the 10th to 14th century. And they just kept migrating from Egypt, according to them. But it's also Egypt, what's now known as Sudan and Ethiopia. So the whole East African that area, that's where they were coming from. Let's see. What else I know about the Balanta people? I can't remember, but I think I have some more. I got some more information on that. I'll look at my notes. Brother Koo says somebody said Eshul Papa Legba energy. Does that have anything to do with my rebellious ways? Said that you have Eshul Papa Legba energy. Okay, so let's do this. The only way you can tell, you have to get a divination done. Because people can look at you and say, oh, he's got Shango energy. Oh, he's got Yemoja energy. She's got Oshun energy. That doesn't mean that you're a child of that Orisha. There are different people that exude different types of energies in our tradition, but that does not mean that they are children of that Orisha. I have a friend that exudes a lot of Oya energy, but she's not a child of Oya. You understand? So you have to get a divination done to see who has claimed you as their child. You have to do that. That's the only way to know. That's it. But as far as rebellious, Eshu isn't really rebellious that I know of. Eshu's more of a trickster. Eshu's more of a mediator. Some people have described him as a policeman, keeping things in order. Eshu once tricked death by feeding it. Remember I said about feeding? That's a high, that's a show of love. Like in Yoruba culture, when you feed someone, it's almost like they can't attack you. I fed you. It's over. So Eshu is some people say that he keeps away Ojogun, or what's known as negative energy. Some people says he is the head of Ojogun, meaning he can direct it away from you. So and I'm specifically speaking about Eshu. Papa Legba is specific to Voodoo, and how some things are similar between the two. There's some things that are different between Papa Legba and Eshu. But ultimately, they do serve the same purpose, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Eshu is a trickster, man. Eshu keeps things in order. Eshu carries our sacrifices to the Creator. So that's what Eshu does. I don't really know about rebellious, though. He said, Baba gave me a reading. Actually, two of them, they both said the same. Okay, so if you are a child of Eshu, that's awesome. Rebellious spirit, though, I've never read anything about him being rebellious. In fact, in one story, he's actually the slave of Orunmila, meaning that Orunmila has acquired his services and he works for him. Not in the chattel slavery type of deal. But, yeah. Okay, Heru said, please inbox whatever information you have about the Balanta. Your notes whenever you get a chance. Okay, I will. Peace to everybody coming in the chat. It's a community exercise. We're asking questions. I'm answering. That's why it's called Question and Answer with Panther. So if you have any questions, give them up. Yeah, baby, I'm the same way. Eshu is not rebellious from what I've read. One thing that people don't talk about, Eshu is actually a hunter as well. If you look at his uniform, he wears a hunter's uniform. So him and Ogun are very close. Very, very close. There is a relationship between the two. So, it is what it is. The rebellion part is just me. Just asking. You already knew it was just you, cool. You're just rebellious. But you may be rebellious for another reason. You may have a family Orisha that is rebellious. What people don't, because everybody wants to know, who's my Ori Orisha? Who's my Ori Orisha? But people don't understand that who you're a child of and your family Orisha can be two different Orishas. There are some people that, their family Orisha is one thing and they're completely another thing. And they have to honor both. I'm like that. My family Orisha is Orunmila. But I am a child of Ogun. So I have to honor both. Excuse me. I have to honor both, basically. You'll also hear the term mother Orisha, father Orisha, family Orisha. So a lot of people, they throw festivals for their family Orisha, and they throw festivals for their Orisha that they're a child of. So, yeah, Rui, it gets a bit deep, and you gotta start. You gotta start. The higher you go up, the more you gotta start venerating more and more orishas or deities. That's any tradition. In a comb, you gotta start venerating more Obuzums, and in Sahur, you gotta start venerating more Pangus. And if you're in the Kemet tradition, the higher you go up, you gotta start venerating more Nettas. So it's a responsibility. This tradition is work. African tradition is work. African traditional spiritual systems are work. These wisdom centers that we've created from time immemorial, and now that we carry forward as diasporans, are work. Work, 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 work. I want people to understand that. So if you're thinking about getting into it, it is not going to be something you can casually do. It's work. If you want benefits of it, it is work. Ifa Shegun. Odu Shanya. I didn't know that. Hey, yeah. Ogun ye moye. Ogun la ake osino mole. And you got Orumila just like me, huh? Iba She Orumila. That's cool, man. That's cool, brother. It's always good to meet somebody that's walking the path that you are. That's cool, brother. Hey, brother, Owusu Abansu is in the house. Hit him up for traditional clothes from Ghana. The brother makes them. I haven't personally bought, but I hear nothing but good things from this brother. So patronize him, man. That's one of our connects in the continent. When I come to Ghana, man, hey, I'm gonna need you to meet me at the airport. Show me around, bruh. Show me around. I want to go everywhere. Me and my family, when we take that trip to Ghana, man, you just help us out. Any more questions? Brother said he was called SU. I feel like it's serving at times. Only one way to find out, brother. Got to get that divination done. Either Erendil Ogun, which is Cowrie Shell, Opwele Chan, Akin, whatever. Get that done so you can know and move on from there, Any more questions? Community exercise I try to keep doing, man, because people got questions. And this is a perfect time to ask. Perfect time to any Reiki? Can you explain what an Reiki is? How it works or is used? Do you mean Iriroke? Is that what you mean? A tapper? Is that what you're trying to I don't think you spelled it right. Are you spelling it? Hold on. Do you mean this? Okay, you do. You mean this. Okay, so you see what I'm doing? It has like a rattle in it, It's a pointer, This is an object of Ifa divination. Ifa divination uses this along with incantations, prayers, to call the energy of Orumila forward before they do divination. So Babalaos always have Irokes. You'll see some even walk around with Irokes. So that's what it is used for. It's code name a tapper. You tap on the board with it at times. You're calling that energy of Orumila forward. Come forward, help me with this divination. As I always say, priests don't know anything. The system of divination is what knows through the patterns. So that's what they use to call Orumila forward. You also see people, if they just have their hand of Ifa, they'll do it in front of their hand of Ifa, as I do. Maybe tap on it before they open, things of that nature. So that's what it's used for. In Iroke Ifa. How do I get a divination? Brother Kadeem, find I don't know where you live, but find a Babalao or Babalosa or Babalorisha, excuse me, in your state. Do your best to make sure he's legitimate, because there are some fraudulent ones around. And, excuse me, tell him you want a divination done. And that's how you get one. May charge you a small fee, $25, $50. Shouldn't be over $50. That's just my opinion. I want to do business in Africa. I am an owner of a home building business in the state. Would this, that's where it cuts off. Can I, if I click see? Oh, it won't let me see it online. Brother Ford, I have to check out the rest of your message afterwards. But if you're in a home building business and you want to do business in Africa, man, you got something they really need. I would say travel there, build those bridges, brother. Build those bridges, because you could make something over there that's big, you know. My family reaches over room and as well. My head is governed by Ogun as well. I shall. Oh, you live in Atlanta. Oh, Kadeem, brother. Hit me up in my inbox, man. I'll give you a number to somebody. I got you. Don't worry about it. Hit me in my inbox. Heru Yale, like a Sinstrom? Kind of. Yes. Kind of the same thought process. Yes. I don't know if Sinstroms were used in readings. Unc Banu, you would probably give more insight on that. But yes, the rattling, yes, the same motion, as I should say. Peace to everybody coming in the chat. Community exercise. As I said, you ask questions, I answered them. Brother Robert Ron, what's going on, brother? Brother Quentin, what's going on? We just in here. I'm just answering questions about different things pertaining to African people. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So are there any more questions? If not, I'm going to go ahead and nip this one in the books. I'll give it a couple seconds. Thank you all for coming in, tuning in, watching. I appreciate your time. I try to do this consistently. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end this, man. I appreciate y'all coming out. Thank you, Baba Ifashegun. Saturdays, man. Look for me, expect me. Try to keep this going. I was sick for a while, so I didn't do these. And then work was kicking my behind. So Saturdays, I try to get this in. Uncle Banu said they are used to call forces. We do use it when opening. So, see, Brother Heru, same principle. So I just learned something. Y'all taught me something today, that the Iroke and the Sinstrom are used in the same manner. Thank you, Brother Uncle Banu. Thank you, Brother Heru, for asking the question, man. That's how we learn right there. You know, my brother Kofi says, as I learn, we all learn. So, man, that's great. Okay, warriors, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. Lafayette Mandalay Bibi Fahudie, which is peace, power, and African liberation. Panther out.